Hello there, this box is going to be quite a nice change for me, as it's quite a while since I've had the chance to look inside a horror block, and they always tend to be pretty decent there. It's a good weight box, and I know I was particularly attracted this month because they're advertising 2 Funko Pop vinyls inside the box. They also tend to have the Rue Morgue magazine, which is always a good read, and even if I'm not the greatest horror fan, there tend to be things of interest. So, got the box here, probably good weight, nice design on the front, arrives safely without too much difficulty, and always well packaged. I've just cut through, so let's take our first look inside. And there's the horror block, and there, as it says, don't open dead inside. And you can straight away see the 2 pops. One of them upside down, so let's start off with the first one. It's The Strain at number 281, Pop Television is Vaughan, and I must say I've never seen The Strain, so I've not got a clue who Vaughan is, but it's a nice green-shaped head. Green-shaped, or green-coloured even, but interesting shaped head. They're always fairly big, that's just how these are made up. Black body with gun, probably some kind of armour. I know people know much more than I know about this, and several other characters in the series. It looks like it could be an interesting one, so I have to find out more about it, but this one I know very little about, so we'll put Vaughan there to one side and move straight on to Willow, who is on her head, so we'll turn her over there, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's a pop I've not got either, another Pop Television, number 122. Nice design, I like her hair, nice way it's put together. So there really aren't that many female pops, thinking about it, but that's a decent one. So all the characters expect there in the series, Buffy, Willow. I've got some Spikes, but I think they're a completely different series there that are in another box. Trying to think which one that was, but they're in one of the other vinyl series. But anyway, so nice to have a Buffy one. It fits in well with the horror theme there with Willow. So 2 pops. I think you get a lot of value straight away by having 2 pops in a box. And clearly there's a lot of other stuff in this box. I think I can even see a DVD in there. But let's go for the t-shirts. And something to do with the shark. Could it be Jaws or a completely different t-shirt? I do like the slightly darker navy blue colour as soon as we look at this. And Orca Deep Sea Charters Amity Island since 1975. I'm fairly sure Jaws then will probably be 1975. I can't quite remember the Orca reference, but it looks like looks a good one there. Made by Shirt Punch as always. It's probably one of their better ones. Nice and wearable as well, because it's not too extreme, and even got a little ship there at the top. And it's not a skull one, which is always one of the ones I dislike in horror block. So 3 out of 3 so far. We'll keep going for what appears to be a first for me in a box, because it says it's a pillowcase. Never had a pillowcase in a box, even though it's a pretty good idea because they fit very well. And I guess we all have beds to put them on. So Nightmare on Elm Street pillowcase, probably an exclusive, so it's got horror block in the corner. And it will say something to do with sleep on there, which fits in very well, of course, with Nightmare on Elm Street, on that sort of blood colour, red colour. So it looks very interesting. We'll look at the card for more details. There is a $10 credit for Shirt Punch that keeps appearing in his boxes. Unfortunately, it doesn't go towards the postage. And let's go on now to this. I was going to say a DVD. It's actually a Blu-ray. Hopefully it's not region restricted, and it's one that we can play in the UK. But I guess we'll find out soon enough when I try and put on Turbo Kid, which is going to be one of these obscure horror films that there's no chance of having heard of. But it's a lovable blast of 1980s post-apocalyptic insanity and the ultimate midnight movie. Well, I might even watch that later. I could do with a good film to look at. It's 89 minutes, so a good length. It's about the post-apocalyptic future and a young solitary scavenger obsessed with comic books who faces his fears and becomes a hero. So yeah, so let's hope that works. There's a few bonuses there. Making of a short film. It's probably much more famous than I make out, but I'm not the biggest horror person. But it looks interesting enough, and doesn't carry an age rating and are obvious because, of course, it's not a UK classified film. But nice to have a Blu-ray. I think that's the first time ever. Right. And finally, always good to have the Rue Morgue magazine, because this in its own I think is about $10, $9.95 Canadian or USA. And always has a bit of interesting reading in there as well. Let's just have a flick through, show you lots of colourful pages, lots of adverts, a few articles, Walls of Bleak there. Something to do with Sanity. Bit of news. Advert of Horror Block always in there. A few upcoming films. So, well worth it. So I think that's a very good box. I don't think there's anything there I dislike, which is so unusual. We've got the Blu-ray, the magazine, the pillowcase, a couple of pops, and a great t-shirt. And somewhere in here as well there should be some information cards. So next month we've got Psycho and The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. That actually sounds pretty good. Friday the 13th. And what does the card itself say? So first of all, the double pop month. So one from Buffy and one from The Strain. So there's a whole host of ones that could be included there. So we've got the two of those. Got the t-shirt from Jaws for Shark Week. So Shark Week must be coming up. It's not something I think really gets discussed in the UK. Got the Turbo Kid Blu-ray there, which looks a lot of fun. The Nightmare on Elm Street pillowcase. I think you can probably just make out, the focus isn't great because it's dark, but you can just about make out the interesting design with Freddy. So you test that one out, see what it's made of, and if it doesn't keep me awake. And then the Rue Morgue magazine. So I think we can say it's a really good box from Horror Blog. You can check out the full review and lots of photos, geeksubscriptionbox.com. Thanks for joining me looking at the June 2016 Horror Blog.